Rah. Unity, unity, unity. Today we'll be discussing a topic that we have all done, that we have all experienced, that we have all witnessed someone else do. Why chase when you can attract? And I'm not trying to sound like those average spiritual people. I'm not gonna sit here and just talk about the laws of the universe, or like talk about manifestation or writing in your book or meditation. I'm talking about real life things, the science of why chasing and attracting, like the science of chasing and attracting, and why it's positive or negative, and why there are certain aspects of these beings that matter, and the aspects of these beings that do matter. You see, no matter how detached you are, no matter how nonchalant or how careless you are, no matter how if you claim that you don't give a fuck, at some point you did. At some point you did chase that girl. At some point you did chase that guy. At some point you did chase that money. At some point you did chase materialistic things. You did chase views. Some of us did chase views on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, I almost forgot to mention, we hit 60 supporters. 60 supporters, y'all. 60 Eternians. That's our name, Eternians. If I come up with a different name, that's our name. That's our slogan, Eternians. That's our name. You subscribe, you know what I'm saying? You subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the popularity, fuck the numbers, but if you subscribe, you're officially what the fuck? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how. I'm just tripping. If you subscribe to me, you are officially an Eternian. Like you one of us, for real. You know what I'm saying? You eternal, you living forever, for real. You know what I'm saying? All right, so anyway, let's talk about it. Why chase when you can attract? Like I said, man, we spend years of our lives, years of our existence as human beings, running after things that don't suit us as people. We run after popularity. We run after charm. We run after men who don't value us. We run after women who don't see our value. We chase after all these materialistic things, or these spiritual things even, that will get us nowhere. These things that don't help or guide us get to any destination that'll fit our needs and our positive desires. But we have hatred towards those who try to direct us towards what's necessary for our lives. And why? Well, because a lot of people hate the truth. And no matter how real you are now, at some point, the truth was difficult to deny. The truth was difficult to embrace. At some point, the truth was difficult for all of us to embrace, because the truth does hurt, but it also heals. A wound does hurt. A scar will hurt, but it'll also heal. And when it comes to truth, not only does it heal, not only does it hurt, but if willing to and desiring to, it will heal you and teach you and guide you and show you another aspect of yourself that you probably didn't witness or see. I'll give you all an example. I graduated. I'm going to college now, but when I was in the 12th grade, I spent a lot of my 12th grade year chasing women, chasing girls, man, being a simp, being a loser, man. You know what I'm saying? Being afraid, being a coward, being at fear. You know what I mean? Letting these false expectations consume or control me. I didn't spend my years of high school focusing on grades. I spent it in class all day watching YouTube. You know what I mean? And each year I just didn't care, because I was expecting something. I'll say this now, but I'll save it save the rest for another video. I was just saying, like, I would expect some higher power or something from another world to come help me. Literally, like I'm telling the truth, but I will tell y'all the truth. I will save it for another video. But anyway, a friend of mine, two friends of mine, were helping me, like, get girls, help me with the riz, help me with the game. They were teaching me game and everything. My hard-headed self was too afraid. My hard-headed self thought I had it all. My hard-headed self was selfish, and I had a God complex, and I was ignorant. So I really wasn't taking in the information due to my own stagnations and my own ego and my own fears. So then Monday, my friend, I talking to one female friend. I'm talking to her. I'm talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, I say something. I say, there are a million other things you can do outside of the school system. And then she agrees with me. But then another friend of mine, he says, like what? I said, what? He said, like what? You said there are other things beyond the school system that you can do, other jobs you can get, but like what? And I didn't have anything else to say. And he's like, exactly, this, and the third. And I excuse my language, but I called him a bitch. I was rude. I was disrespectful. I didn't have enough emotional control at that time. So I called him a bitch. I was like, whatever, this, and the third, bitch. And he was like, bitch. And he felt offended. And I was like, yeah, whatever, this, and the third. And then he was like, and I was like, yeah, man, and I was like, man, I had no idea there was a Forex class or a money class, because we were talking about Forex trading and money and like the system and shit like that. And he was like, I told him, like, I didn't even know there was a Forex class or a money class. And he was like, well, then focus on your awareness, focus on your surroundings. And he said, focus on your surroundings, focus on your classes instead of chasing all these hoes. Yeah, he said that. I'm gonna say it again. He said, focus on your surroundings, focus on your classes instead of chasing all of these hoes. And did those words hurt me at first? Did those offend me? Did I get mad at me? Did that make me upset at first? Yes, it did. But at some point, I learned to embrace that. But I only embraced it because I chose to. You see, embracing truth is a choice. While embracing that truth he told me helped me grow, I could have chosen to rot and get nowhere in life. I could have chosen to be a loser and to be a fool and continue to chase women. I could have chosen to ignore what he said because I got hurt. You see, a lot of the times we let how we feel dictate our path. And this is exactly why a lot of people don't know where they're going. They're not even the ones driving the car. Well, you see, to put it simply, they are driving the car, but when they go through all these emotions and they get sad, they stop by the side of the road and they cry for hours. When they get upset, they crash out. When they get too happy, they go too fast and they cover a long distance in a very short period of time, and they lose all their gas. Now they can't even go any further. And they bypass all these things that they could have witnessed or paid attention to or stopped by on their path if they just paid attention to their surroundings. And then they get afraid and they don't even start the vehicle because they have all these thoughts. Oh, what if I crash? What if the car explodes? What if I get hit by a train? What if I hit something? What if I hit someone? What if it's too dark in the road and I can't see and I end up driving? Like, all these negative thoughts they have about the road. But the car and the road, that represents their path. What if she does reject me? What if she does accept me and I can't keep her? What if the world rejects me, which it will no matter what? What if the world accepts me, which it will in some ways no matter what? Like, people fear these inevitable things. But when you do fear these inevitable things, you got to ask yourself, what am I embracing? And what am I attracting? And why am I reacting to these things? And why is life reacting to me in this manner? What am I putting in to myself? What am I putting out to the world? What am I putting out to the world that is causing me to bring it back to me? What exactly am I giving to other people? Am I giving frustration or anger and rage and hatred? Am I giving positivity and love and respect and kindness? But you got to understand, you got to pay attention to your life and to yourself as a person and notice what you're giving and notice what you're attracting because of what you're giving off. Sometimes we give off negative vibes. Sometimes we give off positive vibes. Sometimes our vibes are not all that matter. A lot of the time, it requires action too. Yes, you might have an attraction to a certain girl or a certain male or a certain person or even to yourself, but you can't say you value yourself or you're attracted to yourself or you find yourself great when you're not even making the necessary moves or the actions to make sure that certain things do come to you. You're still chasing after women. You're still chasing after money. You're still chasing after self-love when all of these things lie within yourself as a person. All you have to do is sometimes just take the time. When you see, let me explain to you, before I get to my next point, let me explain to you what really focusing on yourself means. You see, people say they focus on themselves, but they focus on themselves to distract themselves from something else or a deeper truth or even a lie that they tell themselves. And give me a moment, please. I gotta, cause y'all know I put music in the background, so I gotta skip this ad real quick. All right, and we back. You know what I'm saying? We back. But like I said, some people do use this "I'm focusing on myself" term as a lie or a way of manipulating themselves into blocking out the truth, blocking out the fact that they need to take the time to acknowledge and to face their issues and their insecurities as people. They give their heart out to someone and their heart ends up broken. They left them spoken. And now they're holding all this anger in. But now they want to focus on themselves. You got grown ass men. Well, we got grown men on YouTube talking about I'm in my villain arc. Bro, you 35 talking about a villain arc. Y'all know, let me tell y'all the definition of a villain arc from my own experience or from my own understanding. Apparently, a villain arc is a time in someone's life in which they grow cold or ruthless or they just stop caring about the world. But this villain arc alone goes to show that they actually care about the fact that they got dumped, that they got cheated on, and that they're not willing to let it go. Because they're using all these things. Oh, villain arc. Oh, I'm going to focus on myself. But they put their value on the shelf. And while the shelf is more valuable now, they go from hero to zero because they refuse to save themselves. And that's just the truth. And if you're one of these people, you got to grow up, man. I know the breakup hurts. I know getting with that person was probably regrettable. I know that man hurt you. I know that woman hurt you. I know they used you. I know they might have abused you or said some things that you regret getting with them for. But if they're out of your life now, they're gone. But you remain here. So are you going to still stay in fear of these insecurities, or are you going to face them in the dungeon of your mind? Let every aspect of your being intertwine and help you realize that you have to realign with yourself. And stop putting your self-respect on the shelf. So about that, you know what I'm saying? I already explained everything, you know what I'm saying? Chasing and attracting. And it's like, why do we run after these things? It's always a mission. It's always a goal when it comes to us. But we don't understand why we do it. We let the illusion of our own ego, the desire for it, go after it. And we chase after that desire. The desire strings a little piece of lettuce or some little piece of what we desire. And a lot of people, they run after that thing. They run and they run and they run. And then they fall for it. They fall for it, they run. The desire is here controlling them. But it's their ego that's like, hey, go after that, go after that, go after that. Yeah, go after that girl. Go after those drugs. Go after these things that aren't even going to help you as a human being. We chase after things that really don't matter. Things that we don't matter to. People we don't matter to. It might be a little laggy right now. I don't know what's wrong with it. But y'all get my point. Why do we chase after these things? Why do we run for these things? We run after these things. And what's even crazier, like I said, you see, there are messengers. There are people in the world who will tell you and get on you and tell you, hey, that's not right. That's wrong. That's disrespectful. But you see the ego, and shout out to the Man Mindset. I watched their videos. They said something along these lines, and I was inspired to say what I want to say next. Shout out to Steve Dean Williams. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the mind isn't necessarily your friend. The mind will manipulate you and trick you into being a person you're not designed to be, a person of your lower self, a shell of your true self, a loser. Now, the thing I'm trying to say right now is that there are people in the world who will tell you the truth and tell you that you're wrong and tell you that you're unrighteous for the things you do or have done. But there are people who will tell you that you're right for doing what's wrong, and that you're right for being a terrible person, and that you're right for being in the unrighteous aspect or part of life. But people attack the messenger and not the message, because the message sets you free. Forget the messenger, because the messenger is just a messenger. That's a person spitting the information. But you can decide whether you're willing to understand this information or let your mind manipulate you into thinking this information is wrong or right. So I'm really hoping this video helped y'all. 18 minutes long, I know. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We don't play. We attorneys. We spray every day with the greatness. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are valued. You are great. You're beautiful, handsome. You're amazing. You're a king. You're a queen. You're the chosen one. You got a purpose for real. You know what I'm saying? Look at me up on this video doing all this crazy stuff. But on a real note, you're great. Rahu, remain eternal.